we are live for another episode of Let Your Story Drive You. And I'm so privileged today to have a special guest who's not a guest to probably many of you, but still a guest for the first time on Let Your Story Drive You. So I'm so excited that you all have joined us. This is Nicole Diehl.
Hi.
Nicole is a graduate of MMA, and Nicole has actually done so many amazing things in her career as a new artist, and I'm just excited to interview her today. So hopefully for those of you that know Nicole, there will be some new information that you never heard before.
Maybe.
But no pressure. So thanks, Christina, for joining. So of course, the first question that we always start with for these episodes is, what is it that drove you to want to become a makeup artist?
So basically, it's one of those stories that like you graduate high school and you think you have everything planned out, and then you actually don't once you graduate.
Right.
So I didn't really know where I wanted to go or what I wanted to do. So I ended up, I started watching Face Off and The Walking Dead, and I was like, this is what I need to do. Like, I need to figure out how to make this happen. And then somehow on Facebook, I ended up finding the school, and I was like, I'm going, I have to go. And it was like Halloween classes and like, Mom, Dad, I'm going. And that was it. So ever since 2012, I've been here and they can't get rid of me. So
I love it. You hear that? Since 2012, we can't get rid of her, and we don't want to. But that's a great story. And you know what? It's funny because so many people, I feel like, for effects were inspired by The Walking Dead and Face Off, and makeup has been more publicized in that way, which makes it feel like, oh, wow, like people actually do this for their careers. So that's awesome. Yeah, I used to come and I did 2 years just Halloween classes when we had them. And then I would come and hang out at every single open house that the school had. And then Brandy and Christina was just like, gave me an application, like, just do it already. Like, you're here all the time. We'll figure it out. So, it's definitely doable and it's very rewarding. So. That's so great. Yeah, I do remember that. We used to have Halloween classes and would show people how to create their own characters for Halloween, and that was how it started for you. That's so great. I forgot about that. Hi, Sarah. Hi, Saidi. Hi, Esmeralda. Thank you guys for joining. And so you're kind of already channeling Halloween, I feel like, right now with your eyeshadow colors.
I'm ready for fall.
Do you see this? Like, she is full-blown orange, greens, bronze, crimson.
Subculture palette.
Oh, subculture?
Love it.
I like that one. That's great. Okay, perfect. So tell me, Nicole, my next question is, during your time at MMA, what is it that you found most valuable that you learned?
I would say like the level of professionalism that you guys teach us, because I've been on many sets and situations where other people have not acted the way they probably should have, and knowing how to like go with the situation and be like the best that I can be and be as professional as possible. And I have like a lot of respect for that. And then also probably time management. Because especially working on a film set, you don't have a million hours to do things and get things done. So knowing, how long it should take me and practicing that, that's helped a lot too.
That's great. So time management and, really the professionalism, which is super important. I don't think people realize how important that is. Oh, hold on, I have to pause because Jen's saying, I've worked with Nicole on several projects. She's beyond amazing. She's definitely become my right-hand person. Now we need to get her on Face Off. Keep up the great work.
Thank you, Jen.
Again, no pressure or anything. But that's
a
great,
goal.
Jen.
It's a goal of mine. We'll see.
Definitely.
Maybe one day.
All right, that sounds good. And actually, Tate Steinzik, if you're watching, okay, remember Nicole, you met her a few times.
I'm your homegirl, remember that.
Give her a little in on Face Off.
Yes.
But no, going back to what you said, though, about professionalism and time management, I mean, on set, time is everything.
Yes.
So, moving slow is not an option when you're on set.
Right.
And that's a really important skill.
And working under the stress of set, because at any time something can change, and being able to jump and like fix whatever the problem is, that's also there too. So even if like something were to go awry, knowing like, okay, this is how I can fix that problem.
Right, and I think that's a part of professionalism, being ready with your A game and knowing how to address any situation, like you said, that comes up. Deborah's saying hi too. Hi, Deborah.
Hi.
Okay, great. So if someone was a new or is a new artist that's watching, you know, and you could give them a piece of advice, what would you say?
Don't overthink it. A lot of the times when I first started, it was like, oh, this is the steps that I have to follow. This is how I do things. And it was blocking me artistically. And it's like I had to kind of just like, don't worry about it. Like, just, you know, my philosophy, and they all laugh at me, is just to paint until you like it. So I have something planned out, but then it's like, I don't really care for it. I don't like it. So it's like, I'm going to forget all of like my little like rules that I had made for myself, and I'm just going to paint until I like what the outcome is. And that's usually what I do with everything. So don't let, you know, certain things like that like rule how your like makeup will look. Do it until you like it, because you're the one that's, you know, dealing with it. So
absolutely. You know. And especially important in the learning process, you know, when you're learning, these aren't paying clients, right? You're just practicing. So do it until you get what you want out of it. I think that's a very important you know, note for new artists. That's great.
Right. And you know, if like, I'm all for like breaking rules with brushes.
Breaking rules with brushes?
Or like the breaking rules with tools that you had said.
Oh yeah, I just said that. Breaking rules with tools.
Yes. So like, if you know, if it's an eyeshadow brush that's super small that you're only supposed to use to line, go for it and use it other places. Don't just stick with what it's saying to use it for.
Exactly, exactly. And I think that whole like process of discovery, not overthinking it, which Sarah agrees with. She's like, I agree, don't overthink it. You know, that's a big part of discovering yourself as an artist, learning how to problem solve, and really growing, you know, because once you learn, then you can break rules with tools or break rules with brushes. So that's hysterical. I really need a t-shirt that says that, breaking rules with tools. Okay, moving on from that, and someone said great advice, you know, really, really good advice. Don't overthink it. Your brain might explode if you think too hard. Just let your artistry flow. Yeah, we're on the same page here. Okay, great. So I have one last question for you, and that is, what is it or who has been the most influential in your career as an artist? Christina Newman. Shout out.
Yes, she was probably the first one that I met when I came here, and I kind of followed her and look up to her and admire her for everything that she does for me. And I know that, you know, if I have a problem with something, I can call her and be like, oh my gosh, help me. Like, you know, I don't know what's going on. But she's always been there, and she always pushes me to strive for like the next level of my artistry. But yeah, that's, I guess, who, you know, all of the instructors here are awesome, and I look up to all of them, but Christina's always going to be my person.
Girl.
Yes.
That's right, that's right.
She's my person.
She's my person. Christina, great job. Thank you for inspiring students like Nicole, and I think that's awesome, because every person needs like a mentor or a cheerleader, you know, to make you feel like you can do it. Sometimes you have everything you need inside of you, but you need someone to push it out of you. So I think Christina has definitely done that for you. I remember, short quick story, when she told me you were airbrushing at Erebus, and she's like, we got to get her airbrushing skills right. She goes, she knows how to paint really fast, but when it comes down to the technicalities, and you took that challenge on, I remember, and listened to her, you know, being teachable is a great attribute, and you did that.
Yeah, I basically was like super fast, didn't really, you know, was very, you know, not really blended. It was just like, you know, hard lines, and she's like, yeah, we're gonna have to break you and retrain you. So I definitely had to do that, and I was under a lot of stress in that class, but it was worth it. So.
But you didn't overthink it. And I think I've heard a couple of students actually call you the airbrush queen.
I have been called that. I don't know.
She's like, yeah, they do call me that.
I don't want to.
Literally,
you know.
I've had a few students say that. Like, yeah, I just want to be like Nicole. She's the airbrush queen.
Oh, that's awesome.
So kudos.
Well, thank you.
You've got other people looking at you like a Christina now, which is
I'm happy
great.
with that. I mean, I'm good to mentor with anybody, so I'd love that. So.
That's great. Well, thank you so much for being with me today. Thank you guys for joining and watching. Make sure you share this video. Follow Nicole. We tagged her in the post. And don't forget, for those of you that are interested in starting your career and being in a position like Nicole is as a new artist, come on by. We have Walk-In Wednesdays every single Wednesday. So tomorrow we're open from 9 to 7, 9 a.m., 7 p.m., and you can stop in, and you never know who you might meet. You can meet Nicole or somebody else.
here.
She's here all the time. The honorary sleeping bag or air mattress is in the closet. So we'll see you all soon for Walk-In Wednesday or tuning in for Facebook Live. Bye.